Gridiron Junkies, ladies and gentlemen, week 1 of the NFL is finally here, and I have, via Zoom, one of the people that I've been trying to get on for a long time. He is hilarious. He is the man in the box. CJ Sullivan, how you doing, man?
Yes, thank you for getting me on here. Come on. I've been waiting to get on there, trying to make it work, and here we are. From the box to your studio. You have a nice box.
My box has got a couple extra toys. I like boxes with a little bit of toys. And,
yes.
Chicks with pussy piercings are, they're interesting.
I know. It's funny you say that as you pick up a cowboy helmet.
Yes.
Chick with a pussy helmet. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel like girls down there, they just don't, they wouldn't be tough enough to get their pussies pierced. Right. It's more like the Atlanta crowd.
They'll get it bedazzled, but they won't they're going to sparkled up, but they won't get it pierced.
For EDC and shit,
Right.
Yeah, those people. But, CJ, you're a hilarious guy, and one of the last man in the boxes I heard you talking about was Aaron Rodgers on Hard Knox. So, Hard Knox just wrapped up. The season finale was yesterday. We are recording on Wednesday. This will come out tomorrow. What were your final thoughts on this Hard Knox season?
Well, overall, it's still good. It's still Hard Knocks. You know what I mean? I love everyone they throw out there, and I get fooled every time. The team looks amazing. You think they're going to go 19-0. Like I say, the sprinklers look incredible on Hard Knocks. Anything in slow motion and film, like if the sprinklers had a team, they would go to the playoffs somehow. It's funny how the Jets were at first they're like, oh, we don't want to do this. They were the first team that they were forced to do it. And Aaron Rodgers said it was shoved down our throats, so we have to do it. Yeah, well, too bad, Aaron Rodgers. You know who else was shoved down our throats? But for the last 2.5 years, all we had was Aaron Rodgers stories. You think I wanted to know what a darkness retreat is? I had to tell my parents what fucking ayahuasca was. You know what I mean? You're gonna do the damn show, and then. It worked out. They loved it. They hammed it up. They did the same stuff. The coaches, ripped off their leadership speeches from Paste magazine or something.
Oh, it's so bad. It's always so bad, dude. Saul is pretty. I'm not going to lie. The more I looked at Saul over the season, he kind of looks like a bird. He has the facial features of a bird.
Right.
And when he puts things together, it's not even in a good flow, he doesn't have, everything sounds so fucking monotone. It's gross.
And he doesn't believe in it. The opening one, the first episode when he's doing that animal speech, usually when you're going to do the animal standard comparison, show the video, you got to see the video. He was just making this thing up. He's like, yeah, so a crow attacks an eagle. Did you know that? We're like, no. He's like, yeah, but then the eagle will fly high, and then the crow will suffocate. Okay, well, which one are we in it? What are we talking about? Are we playing the Eagles? No, but you know what I mean. We gotta spread our wings. And then there's another one where the bear did all the cocaine in the woods or something like that. These aren't real documentaries.
No. Yeah, I have yet to see anybody even stitch the video of a crow and an eagle flying.
I don't think it exists. That's what I'm saying. What are you talking about? Crows don't fly with eagles. Crows are on my fucking wire right now outside my window. They're not in the mountains with eagles.
No. He looks like an eagle. I think that's why he made a bird reference, is because he is a bird himself. But dude, I don't think he's the coach of that team. I think the defensive coordinator, from what I saw, definitely has more control. And Nathaniel Hackett's a fucking clown. It didn't surprise me after seeing this Hard Knocks that the Broncos sucked, and that Sean Payton.
I can't believe the Broncos won any games after watching Hard Knocks. This guy's
what?
And they keep talking about how hilarious he is because he quotes Goldmember. Great, yeah, he's
a real funny guy.
But Sally, the people they like, but I don't trust him either. To be honest with you,
I think he's the epitome of what a head coach needs to do, right? He's just the overseer. He kind of just lets everybody do their thing. He's not overstepping any bounds. He did not peg me as a person that would have 7 kids. That kind of shocked me. Because he seems like he'd have 2 boys and they'd be in military school kind of guy.
Right. Yeah, I can see. I can also see him having no control. Just this is what we do. This is what we do after practice. Okay, I wake up, I take my vitamins here. We got team meal 10:15. I fornicated 12, and then we have a kid 9 months later.
That's just part of the. It's the standard.
It's on the itinerary, hon. Sorry, I can't stop it. You want to change this schedule? Bring it up with management.
Man, so the last episode that we just saw, we witnessed Aaron Rodgers talk about fucking UFOs for 5 to 7 minutes. I would have rather him talk about the Darkness Retreat, even though I've heard everything about it, but that story was horrible.
It was a terrible story. It wasn't a story. They're trying. You can see HBO's trying to limit his conspiracy theory stuff because he's at dorm room get weed high conspiracies that are easily debunked.
Yeah.
The episode beforehand, he tried to throw in a little about AirPods. They were making fun of his headphones, like, you're an old man, you don't have AirPods. Like, you mean the one that does EKG commissions in your head or your brain? Like, really? Is that what you're worried about, your brain? AirPods? You've probably had 50 concussions, Rogers. You played professional football for 20 years. You're worried about AirPods in your brain? You mob.
Yeah, no.
But you're right about that UFO story, though.
He's soaking it up, and like he said, they shoved it down our throats. He wants every bit of that fucking limelight. I don't think there will be a better quarterback, at least possibly in my lifetime, that will transition from playing quarterback to like being a bona fide superstar on the outside. Like, you could say Tony Romo, but he only does the football side of it. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be on everything. He'll fucking host Jeopardy once every quarter. He'll, do his normal. There will probably be a show. He'll host a show like Dwayne Wade.
But he can't help himself. He's on the verge of like not getting canceled, but people want to turn on him anyway. People don't, because he leaves a trail. He's coming off great on this because they can do all the editing.
Yeah.
But like when he starts, I love when he starts. What was he saying about the UFO last night? Well, so we're by a nuclear plant. If you know anything about UFOs, they're attracted to nuclear plants. No, I don't know that, Aaron. Is that a like if you know basic 101 stuff? Yeah. Right.
Yeah, no, he so one of the things, staying on Aaron Rodgers, right, with Zach Wilson kind of having to take a huge step back. I've never really gotten a chance to know who Zach Wilson was. This helped me kind of like formulate, all the rumors I heard of him wanting to he was banging MILFs. Mm-hmm. What type of person does that look like in the NFL, that's open like that? It's Jimmy G and it's Zach Wilson. And he's so nerdy. Like, I think he's banging gilfs. I don't think he's banging
gilfs. Well, he's young enough. I mean, gilf could be 48 to him.
That is true.
And he looks like he's 12 years old. I do feel bad for him though on this show because like all the episodes are just like, the entire team, coaching staff, isn't it amazing? We have Aaron Rodgers. This is gonna be so much better than last year. This is the greatest thing that ever happened to us. Don't you agree, Zach? You were here last year. Matter of fact, you're the reason why we were terrible last year. Have you talked to Aaron? Has he said anything to you? Then they had the one quarterback meeting, but the whole meeting is like, hey, let's just guess if Rodgers is gonna run the ball or throw the ball here. He's gonna do it, and Zach's like, I don't give a shit. I don't know. Who cares? Can we see a scheme?
Dude,
it's more fun to watch Rodgers be good at his job.
He's a bona fide backup. That will be his role for the rest of his career. He had his shot. It's wild though that that's how important the quarterback is in the NFL. And I want to know, coming in before Hard Knocks, did your perception change on how many games you think they're going to win? I know you had mentioned earlier, I mean, it makes it seem like they're going to go 19-0. But realistically, as a football fan here, did it make you go like, oh, shit, they actually could win the division? Is that possible?
Well, I'll say this with the Jets. They're not your normal hype team coming into the season. There's been teams that come hyped up and they're going to fall flat in their face, but that were bad and they were supposed to be good. And the Jets aren't normal because they were a good team last year, but it literally was because of their quarterback play. That's how bad it was with Zach Wilson. Now you replace, because their defense is great. They have a great defense and they have great skill players. Their O-line is questionable, so that'll definitely hold them back. But Rodgers, it's not ideal to have a bad O-line with an old quarterback. You want someone that can move around a little bit, but he'll be able to fix things the way he plays the ball. So I don't have the highest ceiling for him, but I think a lot of things can happen with them. I think they can definitely win double-digit games for sure.
I think that they will not win the division, but they will make the playoffs in my world. And I do think Rodgers throws for like 45 touchdowns this year.
I do too. I think Rodgers is definitely scorned this year for some reason. He'll make up his own scorn, and he's motivated, and he's so moody, and he's finally motivated. So this year alone, it'd be kind of like when Favre went there. He had a good year his first year, and then that was it.
Yeah, and he wanted just to fucking stick it to everybody else, showing him. And
even though Green Bay did absolutely nothing to him.
No, nothing.
It's like, but he just creates his own thing. He complained about the management. Then they gave him the biggest contract in NFL history, which you don't need to live in Green Bay, by the way. You can afford you can afford that on $400K a year. You can run that down. Now he goes to Manhattan. He's giving back $35 million. What a slap in the face of Wisconsin.
I wanted to look up what his where he's living at now in comparison to where he was. That would be interesting because all he really needs is a box. I mean, he may just be staying in a closet. He's in a darkness season where he just picked the smallest apartment in New York City and is just like, this is going to make me tougher.
Oh, yeah. He's across the river in Weehawken in a studio. He's got aluminum foil on the walls, like the brother in Better Call Saul. He's just filing up all the walls, and he's no commission, no cell phones allowed in the house. Put them in a mailbox.
He no shoes in the house. That's a rule, 100%. So moving on to the primetime games that we got coming up here this season.
Sure.
So or this upcoming week, we got Thursday night football between the Super Bowl Chiefs and the Lions, who, in my opinion, are going to win the Super Bowl this year. Yes. I think they are that good. I think regardless of this Travis Kelsey news that just came out yesterday saying that Travis Kelsey's hyperextended his knee, he won't be playing. I don't know. Did you hear the timetable on how long that is going to be?
All they said is that it avoided major injury. It's not an ACL. He's probably not going to play because it's a Thursday game and it just happened, but they think he'll be ready for the week 2.
Okay. So before that even happened, I think that the Lions are for real. Jahmyr Gibbs from Alabama, I think, is going to be an absolute problem. You're looking at the offensive rookie of the year right there. And he's going to show out game 1. Are you feeling the same way that I'm feeling, that we're going to see a little bit of a Super Bowl hangover? Lions for sure cover, if not win.
It's interesting because the Super Bowl hangover used to be a real thing. You fade the Super Bowl champions, like the spread is always too high and all that, and it still is kind of factored in, except for this Thursday night game, which they've changed to, in the last 10 years or so, where the champions open the season on Thursday night at home, and especially with Kansas City, they usually show out for this game. Mahomes, especially in week 1s, if you look at his numbers, it's like 300 yards, 3 touchdowns across the board for like the last 6 week 1s. And I'm not saying the hype's too much for Detroit, and they're people are saying that it's low helium and not air, but I think it's going to be a show for sure. And the Kelsey thing doesn't help. I like the over more than I like either side of that game. I think Kansas City at home on this Thursday night game might be a bit too much for Detroit, but I'm not willing. I really don't want to lay those points either. I do agree that Detroit is for real the way they came on. The only problem with Detroit, there's a couple problems with Detroit. Goff on the road is also not as solid as a bet as he is at home. But that defense last year was historically bad. They were very bad. Absolutely horrible, especially in the secondary. And I don't care what improvements you made on it, you can't improve that much for what you're not going to go from there to the Jets defense. You know what I mean?
Facts.
So I see, even though receivers are down, I think Mahomes will have his way. Gibbs, you're right though. He'll tear as much too. They're going to miss Chris Jones, so I expect a lot of points in this game for sure.
What is the over under on that one?
52, which is the highest of the whole slate.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I see that happening. I see that happening because, the Lions, like you said, they give up a shit ton of points.
Terrible
Dan
defense.
Campbell, for as tough as he is, his defense played so fucking weak.
Right.
It was the complete opposite of his personality. Is Jared Goff for real? Is he okay? If people tier up quarterbacks, tier A, tier B, tier C. Where does he fall?
Yeah, he's definitely worked himself into the B before he wasn't even in that. He had a career year last year, and good for him because they gave up on him, obviously. And he is what he is, and he can be good. He's still the number 1 overall pick. Who has talent. Of course, Zach Wilson was the number 2 overall pick, but that doesn't change things. So he's still young. He still has talent. He's up and coming. He's got to be more consistent. But like you were saying, when it comes to quarterbacks in the NFL and how dependent you are, there's only like 8 to 10 of these guys on the planet that that you can have in the tier 1.
Yeah.
So he is what he is, and he's going to make what he makes, and he's good enough to ride with. He as far as they have the players around him, but they need a team. So we'll see. Well, he has to do better on the road, though, for sure.
Facts. Let's move on now to the Sunday night football game between the Giants taking on the Cowboys. This game's usually played in Dallas, but instead it's being played in MetLife. You got Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley coming off of big-time contracts. I can only imagine how small of an apartment that builds you buys you in New York. I see the Giants having a lot more to prove in this game than the Cowboys do. And I see them taking the victory. They're plus 150 money line right now for a Sunday night football game at home. I think that home field advantage is going to be prominently displayed because that rivalry is pretty fucking intense. I've never been to a Giants-Cowboys game, but I know in New York it hits different. What are your thoughts on this one?
Absolutely. With those NFC East games, especially with Dallas anything, they're just the most hateable organization out there, and their fans are everywhere. They're extremely obnoxious.
Yeah.
And they're in your face. But yes, so this is a great game to open up, and the Giants getting 3. I was kind of a little surprised that they were. It was 3.5. I know it's down to 3 now. I'll definitely take the points with the Giants there. This is a culture game, a statement game, flagship you've been waiting for. That people expect them to regress a little bit. Obviously, because they had a lot of one-score games last year, and they're kind of fortunate. But I don't know. I mean, I think that's also from coaching. They love the ball. They love him, and then you win close games like that when you have good coaching like that. That's what the NFL comes down to. It's a thin line between all of this, because they're all so talented. They're all very equal. So it comes down to situations and how you adapt and how you react to those like little instances. That's why Belichick was so great for so long, because that's what he detailed, just the little game management and details shift. So with that, but my favorite play on this is the under, which is 46.5. Divisional games, like you said,
they play
tight, heated rivalry. Different coordinator, obviously, there for Dallas. I'm not a McCarthy fan to begin with. I do think they will be a little more explosive now, just through letting Pollard be the feature back. And
that's always been the thing, dude, with Pollard. Like, I mean, I remember vividly there was times last year where you can hear Cowboys fans booing, like when they fucking trotted Zeke's fat ass out on a fucking 3rd and goal play after Tony Pollard has literally gotten him 80 yards to get to the goal line. You're like, you give the kid to fucking let him punch it in.
It was insane, but that was Jerry. Jerry loves Zeke, and
yeah, no, they definitely partied. Like, can you imagine being at a party with like Jerry and Zeke, and they're both doing lines and fucking smacking asses? What are the odds on that happening? It's pretty high.
Yeah, that's even. That's minus 110 either way, for sure.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Double fist in the scotch on a boat.
Yes.
Playing craps.
Yes.
Doesn't sound like a bad situation.
No, it was right after they filmed that commercial that ran way too many times last year, where they were getting tackled by the Real Housewives.
Exactly.
They took them straight to Miami, and just Jerry's like, "Oh, you like the boat now, don't you?"
And poor Zeke is now doing the opposite. Now he's in New England. Now he's the backup center for Belichick or whatever. They're going to go to.
Yeah, he's
church meetings.
He's at the Church of Football right now. Fucking him and Juju both are, they went into the confessions box and they burned their phones and
burn your phones. No live streaming.
No live. Yeah, no doing the little dances anymore, buddy.
Yeah,
like
no, no cartoon penguins coming across your TikTok dance things, whatever the hell the new trend is.
Is that it? Or the AI? Like when they just start.
It's like AI penguins or something they do. They do a dance to the 3-6 Mafia song, which is kind of hilarious because the 3-6. If you listen to the lyrics, it's like, I want a fucked up bitch in the back, and like little kids are dancing to it. I'm gonna get her nose full of dust. Like, Jesus Christ!
Fill her nose up with that dust. 3-6
exactly.
Mafia while on tour.
It's a good song. Not saying it's not a good song, but come on.
That's modern day America. They're just getting ready for the football season like we are, man. The last primetime game, we got the Monday night football game between the Bills taking on the team that we talked a lot about at the beginning of the show, the New York Jets. Man, I'm going to have you start with your take on this game because This is a huge divisional game. This is going to have ramifications going all the way down to week 17 type of game. They're going to be thinking about this week 1 matchup.
For sure. And a lot does seem like the ride on this game as far as the season narrative goes, for sure. And the funniest result would be for the Bills to blow them out, for sure. I mean, for all this hype for the Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, and they come up on Monday night and culminate, and they just get destroyed. That O-line is just bad. And they just get
fucking thrashed.
Yeah, because I tell you what, that Jets schedule, the first 6 weeks is tough.
Yeah.
And it's all defensive lines that get after the quarterback. And if they have a bad O-line, this could be real trouble. And Rodgers like, you know what? I'm gonna bail. This was a bad idea.
He just needs to play 60% of the snaps. He has that fucking calendared on his calendar. October 16th, Zach Wilson will be starting.
Yeah. But there are questions with Buffalo, I guess. They're really questioning if they were even that good to begin with, I guess. You know, this whole Stephon Diggs thing. I think they're being undervalued, Buffalo. I know they're like minus 250 to make the playoffs. I think that's free money there, to be honest with you. I think they still win the division. I still think they're head and shoulders above the rest of it's getting closer, the gap, but in that division, they're still head and shoulders above it. So I like the Bills minus 2.5. I like the under in this game too, actually. I like this Jets defense is legit, like for real, legit.
Yeah.
And I think it might take a little while for this Jets offense to transition
to mold.
Per se.
Dude,
yeah, exactly.
How long until we get a fucking Rodgers ripping his O-line coming off the field? Like how Brady did last year.
Right.
Brady was just a different Brady. I mean, there was the divorce mixed in with a sucking. And it was.
Yeah, I didn't get my kids this weekend. You're getting fucked. So you're getting some of this Tristan Wirfs.
That's it though. That's it. I don't see that happening. Maybe not until like week 3 after like taking his fucking 16th sack of the season, and he's just like, I'm fed up with this shit. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. He may like send him joke gifts, like a fiery bag of shit on the front door. Yeah, that's a Rodgers move. That's a Rodgers
for
move.
Sure.
Flat
Earth literature.
I'm expecting Josh Allen to throw at least 1 interception in this game. I did not find the line anywhere before this, but if you can find Josh Allen to throw over 1 interception,
I love that.
Fucking take that, because
that's what he does.
My favorite analogy with him is he's a wild stallion. You know, he played out in Wyoming, so like he saw day in and day out all these horses, and they were just so free. And I think he embodies the spirit of a wild Mustang, and he's just like fucking. You know, he can throw a ball, and it doesn't matter because he's going to go run him down, chase him down, tackle him. He's one of a kind.
Mustang analysis, I love anytime. But yeah, that is a good prop. He is definitely one of a kind. He's a personality. They're trying to make him a star. Now all the clips you see of him, shit, you know, autographing babies and making little girls go crazy. I mean,
he doesn't fit the profile though. Right?
Yeah,
doesn't it seem
weird.
So fucking fake? It's just like awkward. Like he's like, I don't want to be doing this. He doesn't play off the, you know, like Derek Carr smiling. You know, like Derek Carr could run. He could have that year that Henry Ruggs did what he did, and then John Gruden did what he did. He could have run for mayor of Las Vegas, and I think he would have won. If Derek Carr wanted to pivot, he was fucking politician, man. But you just don't see it with Josh Allen. And here's the crazy thing. They named a fucking street after this guy, and he's never won him a Super Bowl. I thought Buffalo was a lot tougher, or at least they respected football more than to fucking, you know, give him a street name.
That's true. They're a little desperate. Plus, I don't think he's ever driven a car. Where's he come from? One of the Dakotas where he rode a horse down there. And
he's like Avatar mends himself with horses. Like, he's connected. He's one with the horse. Him and Stephon Diggs, they ride. Stephon Diggs rides on the pegs.
Stephon Diggs is amazing. I love it. If you're not happy with Josh Allen, what do you want? Do you want Joe Montana to come out of retirement? What quarterback are you looking for? Because this is as good as it gets with this league produces.
Yeah. Josh Allen fits into that top that A category of he's one of 5 that can do what he does on Earth.
Real quick, you brought up Henry Ruggs there. And I know you're Las Vegas, you're home Las Vegas Raiders. What a What a good sentence he got there. Who the hell is his lord? 3 years he can get out of. He could be back. He could be back on the Raiders before his rookie contract's up. This might be the best thing ever happened to his career. He takes 3 years off.
Yes.
No bruises.
Just studying film.
Right.
He probably got it worked into
autoing.
Yeah, he got it worked out into his deal that he can watch a little bit of film on his free time. And man, 3 years for just being a fucking idiot. And there was another receiver for the Vikings that just did the same thing. Was it Jordan Addison?
Yes. Jordan Addison. Yeah, he was doing like 100 something for sure. And he wasn't drunk coming back from Top Golf looking for people to run down, but still a dangerous situation. That's for sure.
You could only drive 140 in Minnesota for like 2 weeks out of the year, and then you will fucking kill yourself on black ice. Like that's, it's not a good look for that man. But no, Henry Ruggs. I don't know who his lawyer was. He maybe got like OJ's guy. Who was it?
That was an amazing deal, right? Yeah, Cochran and all that. Cochran.
Got Johnny Cochran.
But 3 years. I think the Raiders itself, that whole organization being in Vegas is like a social experiment. Like you can't give them first round picks. You can't give them 22-year-olds with millions of dollars and drop them in Las Vegas. That's what's going to happen. People are going to die. They're going to kill themselves. That's why Carr did so. That's why you bring in a Garoppolo. You need like a nice 30-year-old with a family. Someone can calm down. Although I do like how Garoppolo, he'll know how to handle strippers out there. Like the Vegas knows how to strippers.
God,
like, you know what I mean? He knows the discreetness.
We have a couple of people that record podcasts out of here. They're strippers, and they, they've led me on to a couple of the stories so far. With him. Yeah, he's having a good time.
God bless him, as well as he should.
Jimmy is going to do just fine out here. Him and McDaniels, believe it or not, McDaniels gets down with a get down. He's nastier than anybody on that fucking team. Even
really?
Max Crosby, yeah.
I believe that's as well. See, that's the problem. The whole happens in Vegas stays in Vegas slogan. Yeah, it'll stay in Vegas, but the strippers are doing a podcast in Vegas, and then it broadcasts out. Technically, we didn't leave Vegas.
That is true. That is true. The IP is still in Vegas, bro. To wrap it up here, all right, you do a segment called Man in the Box. How did that come about? What made you think of that? Where you're like, oh, this is just what it is.
Sure.
I'm in a box.
Absolutely. I'll tell you a story. Well, my podcast, The Bottom Line Bombs, which is on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. That's what I do. I do it a couple times a week live. And then I started a year ago during the football season. Now I do it year round. But it started off, I was doing the circuit contest. I do 5 picks a week into Survivor. And I lost week 1, like a lot of people did last year, Survivor. I think I had Tennessee, who lost to the Giants for the last second field goal missed or whatever. But anyway, so I'm doing my show, and it's just me in there. It's in a studio, but it's just me. They don't know, they lock the doors, no producer, no nothing, just whatever you want to do. You go out there, So, I'm doing it. The first show I think might have been remote, but anyway, I'm going off and I'm talking about the Tennessee, and I'm just screaming about Mike Vrabel, about his ridiculous play calls, and I caught myself in the mirror. I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I'm getting angry. I'm yelling about Mike Vrabel. I'm just a man in a box, just screaming about, like, who's listening to this? It was kind of like a existential moment.
Yes.
Where, I need to get my life in order. Like, what's going on here? And so from that, I always have something to rant about too. So I kind of like leave it at the end of the show. And then from that, so I do a Man in the Box segment of something, whatever that's usually non-sports related. Crazy Karen becomes unhinged. Crazy Karen has a reasonable request. So many Karen videos out there. People just love labeling anyone who demands anything Karen. Crazy Karen wants her money back because there was mold on her food. Crazy Karen, you're so unhinged. Look at this crazy Karen yelling in the streets. A lot of times these people are just like mentally unstable. There's a report. Look at this crazy Karen. She's defecating in the fountain. This crazy Karen. Yeah, maybe get her some help and stop putting her on blast on social media. But yeah, it's tough. Can't be called Karen anymore. It's tough for Karens. Feel bad for them. They were living a fine Karen life, and then that's it. We decide you guys are a bunch of fucking narcs and have bad haircuts. Didn't used to always be. There was some good Karen. Karen Carpenter was a good Karen. Rainy Days and Mondays got her down. That was about it. And critics. One critic called her chubby, I think, and then and she became an anorexic. But Karen from Goodfellas, that was a good Karen. She never called the cops. She would hide your drugs from the cops. She'd flush it down the toilet. Karen, why did you do that, Karen? They were gonna find it. They never gonna find it, Karen. Well, Janice Rossi's a whore in 2R. Karen. Man in the box. Or whatever, just whatever's on my mind. And then from that, I use them as promo videos. So I started editing them and like putting in other like slide jokes and other words with it. And people,
the side jokes kill me, dude.
Yeah, people really reacted to it. So I'm like, now I painted myself in a corner where I got to keep doing them every week. Like everything, I hate don't do something too good because then you got to keep doing it.
That is true.
That's the problem.
That is true.
But yeah, no, the slide jokes add a little, and it's even though it's a lot more time, it's worth it because it's it separates it from other videos you see out there.
100%.
And it's a good way to get a secondary joke punchline in there that you didn't think of to say when you're ranting.
The first time. Yep.
Exactly.
So I don't know if you saw this past weekend.
Okay.
That UNLV, the school out here in Las Vegas, they do have a football team. I know they haven't been good in fucking 30 years.
Transition year. I just did their team preview. I also do the college experience or co-host with that. But yeah, they had a big win last week over Bryant.
Hey, Bryant division, they're a powerhouse. Some were saying they can make the college football playoff, and that was just a big upset week one for UNLV to fucking take Bryant down like that. And rightfully so, the coach, Barry Odom, after the game, Gatorade bath. As he's running off the field. Gatorade bath for his first win versus a team that he should have beat by more points.
Right.
What do we do with this?
You can't, not even covering, and he did cover, but it's a bit much with the Gatorade bottle. Is that what you're saying? That should be a personal celebration. You don't have to do that in the other face of a team you're supposed to destroy that you just did destroy. I mean, and then it was the stickiest of all Gatorades. It was like a Baja Blast kind of like frost that was getting on him. It wasn't even the players that gave him the Gatorade bath. Like I thought that it was players only. The players are sharing that moment with the coach. No, this was an equipment manager that was giving the coach a Gatorade bath. I know. Look, were they just emptying the Gatorade tanks before the ride home? Like they needed to empty that before they get on the bus. I saw the lid was off, so there was like paper cups lying in there, and kind of people were just throwing trash in there, and like things were just like pouring out of it.
Dude, there's Gatorade baths across all things though. There's nothing more disgracing than when the Gatorade bath splashes and it hits the other coach. Like the Gatorade bath so close to the other coach that the other coach also gets a Gatorade bath. Mm-hmm. So not all Gatorade baths are built the same. If you're coming at it from the other side, it's like, a girl who's getting fucking her face came on and she wasn't expecting it. Like I thought you already finished. All right, the game is over. But now you're Now you fucking decide that you want to squirt it on me. Like that's the way.
That's a Gatorade bath. That's what we used to call that in college. In colleges, usually like when the coaches have like the sheriffs next to them or like the state troopers with the hats, all right, Nick Saban, let's go shake the hands. I wonder that's got to be a scene where someone does a Gatorade missed a coach and just dows a cop. And that
we need to make that happen.
Yeah, that's got to happen. And I doubt good things will happen if you douse like a Mississippi's trooper or something like they usually don't take too kind of.
Start shooting right away.
Right.
They will fucking not take kindly at all. Gatorade baths, they're overrated. They're overrated unless it's the fucking Super Bowl.
It's got to be the Super Bowl only. You're right. And that's when it started. 1986 Giants. They would do the whole thing. And they would put on the fake security jackets and do a whole cat and mouse game. And I blame everything on the fucking Giants and Bill Parcells. And then it became tradition and superstition. Now everyone's just... Yeah, it's got to be disgusting.
There's also bad juju, and bad juju comes from when you do it week one versus a team that you were supposed to beat, and now your team's confused,
And it could possibly be their only victory of the season. But good for them. They got it in there. So maybe they went that way. Who knows when this is going to happen again?
They said, fuck it. Let's just...
Right.
Yeah, he should be surprised there wasn't two of them, Like they just dump out. I've never seen a double Gatorade bath. That would be a whirlwind. It could be too much. I want to see a Gatorade.
Two different colors that make another one, like yellow and blue make green situation.
Yeah. What if the Cowboys win the Super Bowl and they give the Gatorade bath to Jerry Jones and he dies? Like, it just puts him into fucking shock. Like, it's too cold. And he just crumbles on the field.
Well, then that would be called justification for having us to watch the Cowboys win the Super Bowl. We'd be like, well, at least Jerry Jones died on our that'll at least make our day at work Monday a little easier, more palpable.
More palpable, and it will overshadow the Cowboys winning the Super Bowl. I think that Jerry Jones dying from a Gatorade bath would definitely take the headlines.
And that's the thing now with ice baths. Make it freezing cold, like the Joe Rogan ice baths, and you just fucking douse them in there, like
I want to see some dry ice. Let's get some. I want to see the fucking, I want to see it so cold that it's like steaming cold.
Exactly.
Right on top of them, man. Have you ever made last thing, have you ever made a dry ice bomb?
No. Explain that.
Clausen showed me it. No, I'm just kidding.
That's what his second stint was for.
No, it was
dry ice bombs.
Dry ice bombs to break out. He was like, if I throw one against the wall here. But anyway, CJ, you do a lot. You are going to be in Vegas soon, so you got to definitely stop by Sticky Paws Studios.
I definitely come Sticky Paws Studios. I love it. Thank you guys for having me on.
Absolutely, dude. Any things that you want to shout out? Any comedy dates that you got coming up? I definitely want to see you at Wise Guys.
Yeah, definitely coming through Wise Guys. You can just follow I usually post things on my Instagram at CJ Sullivan was taken. We can see pretty much get everything. Yeah. Because I typed in CJ Sullivan, it comes back CJ Sullivan was taken. I'm like, all right, I'll try that then. CJ Sullivan was taken. It's not a Liam Neeson thing. It's not where someone took my daughter or he's walking down the streets looking for black people or something.
I will find you.
Weird quote he had? I know. But other than that, just follow the Bottom Line Bombs on the Sports Gaming Podcast Network and look for the Man in the Box. And good luck this season to you, Carmone. I'll be tuning in.
Thank you, partner. I really do appreciate you coming on, and I'll get you on again here in the future once you're in Vegas. Ladies and gentlemen, you can keep subscribing to Gridiron Junkies on YouTube. I want to drive my audio downloads up, so we're also on Spotify and wherever you listen to podcasts. You could also watch on Spotify, just like you do with Joe Rogan. That being said, you can follow me at Mr. George Carmona, and until next time, ladies and gentlemen, Lions will win the Super Bowl. Later.